Well, hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to yet another amazing, in my humble opinion. I guess maybe it's not so humble anymore because we have amazing guests that we feature. My Leo is coming out. Can y'all tell? So this is permission to follow your inner GPS, your inner guided purpose soul path. I am Angel Lady Terry Marie, an intuitive empath coach, crystal goddess, and best-selling author. I am your host, and our featured guest today is Amirah Hall. She is absolutely amazing. She has been inspiring spiritually minded people around the globe to clear chaos with fast access to graceful, abundant living. She's always been extra sensitive and intuitive, but didn't discover the real power of her gifts until after a near-death experience. You don't have to have an NDE, near-death experience, to find your passion, spiritual gifts, or peace of mind, but it doesn't hurt to learn from someone who has. So please, welcome our amazing guest for today, Amirah Hall. Hello, gorgeous, and welcome.
Hello, honey. I feel like I've known you for eons. Maybe we have, huh?
Probably so. It does feel like that. We're not going to tell anybody that we've been chitter-chattering for half an hour.
Yeah, eons. Soul
So
time,
please,
there is no time, yeah.
No, I really have to mark off the days on the calendar. Otherwise, it's like, okay, what day is it today in this realm? Kind of thing. Please tell us more about you and your journey.
Gosh, some days I look back and I say, have I really been doing this professionally for 20 years now? And so it all began, honestly, I've always been intuitive and very curious, sensitive, as you mentioned, and sort of, kicking the spiritual tires for a very long time, exploring different modalities. Living here in San Diego for over 30 years now, it sort of was the mecca, for intuitive development way back when. And so it's been a curiosity of mine, but really I was, spirit forced me, I would say, or my soul nudged me real hard after that near-death experience. And that was in 1998, so 20 years ago, where I couldn't even get a job to save my soul at that point. I had been in sales and marketing for many years. I've been an interior designer with my own business and always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but was also very technical and organized and loved people and loved to help people solve problems. So after my near-death experience and being, it was like my third eye, my sixth chakra was so blown wide open. Terry, I couldn't function in the 3D world. I couldn't go to the market. I couldn't go, do ordinary shopping or events. I shut off the world, and I was in a lot of hurt, angry, depressed, frustrated, and not sure what the hell happened to me. I knew something radical had happened, but I couldn't say it was the same me, but way different. And not to mention all the sights and sounds. It was a blast, whereas you can't function. So I totally relate to empaths or sensitives that either have that problem, they're too wide open and they can't function in the world or feel everything coming at them, or the other people that have completely shut off their intuitive abilities and don't trust them, or they've led them along the way. So I sort of, had to figure out what the heck was going on with me. And in my near-death experience, I started to see and understand, and remember, this was over 20 years ago. So quantum physics wasn't like it is today. The word wasn't even a common word being expressed, but I could see energy. And I couldn't understand, I didn't have words to really define it, except that I was sort of seeing like a moving kaleidoscope of color, and that I could look at one color in the moving pattern and identify its connection to, let's say, an emotional block. I learned in my near-death experience that everything was energy, and that my stuck emotions made me sick. And I had been challenged with some life issues, and the biggest one was chronic fatigue, and the doctors told me death or wheelchair. I was challenging myself, I guess, to figure it out, and my emotions were my biggest nemesis. I, being so sensitive and being such a little empath and a sponge, I was taking in all my dysfunctional family's garbage.
Oh, yes,
and
I can.
everybody around me. And then in the workplace, in the corporate world, all the crap and suppressing all those feelings and that sensitivity for so long that it just went kaboom, you know? And when it's stuck, it creates dysfunction or dis-ease, and then eventually death. That's what I learned in my near-death experience. So after that, I couldn't get a job, like I said, to save my soul. And going from a 6-figure income to not being able to get hired, it was a tragedy in itself, you know. And then you kind of hit your head against the wall. What's wrong with me? Of course, we girls take it personal, right?
Right.
So that's it. And so then I've been on the journey. Back then, you know, really, if you called yourself a psychic, it was kind of, people thought you were a gypsy or a fortune teller or a mind reader or maybe a palm reader. And so that didn't fit completely. And then when I called myself a healer, that didn't completely articulate it. And so I struggled for a very long time, even identifying what, you know, with who or what. I'm a freak. You know, didn't have permission to really stand in my power. It took a lot of years to know who I am and really what I do, because the words and the vocabulary weren't there, nor was there, you know, permission culturally, socially,
Right.
to really, even in San Diego, as people say, it's so, you know, progressive here. It was a challenge. You know, I just tried to blend in with everybody. So I shut it off even more just to fit in and have a normal life. Didn't work.
No, at some point it's like, okay, this is so not working. And even though I have no idea what to do or how to do it or what's going to show up, you can't do that anymore.
Well, and you know, I'm a Cancerian and you're a Leo. You like to shine and be out there. I love to be with people, right? And so, but you know, a lot of those people didn't get it. You know, you're a weirdo, or they were insecure, thinking I was going to read their mind. You know, when I'm standing next to them.
Yes.
You know how people react like that? They think you've got all their secrets. Well, I do. I don't tell everybody, but no. I think I'm looking into their underpants or something, you know.
Thankfully, I'm only allowed to see so much, and it's like, I don't need any more than that. Thank you so much.
And you know, that's where my path started to develop, is teaching people how to turn it on, because I had to learn how to turn it off.
Right.
And we can control it, but having the right tools and having the skill set to, one, know what it is, access it like you're turning a radio dial, and to not be afraid of intuition, or, you know, I teach people specifically to develop their clairvoyance, which happens to tie in clairaudience, clairsentience, the claircognizance. You know, I think they're all kind of a package deal, and we are all of it. It's just that some of us as turned down or turned up a little more than others in certain areas. So, but we can balance and open all of that and be, I think, superhuman.
I agree.
It's so exciting when we get that, you know. But it is.
So how did you go from no longer being in corporate and earning 6 figures to transitioning into this, where you were okay for a while, because it's not as easy as some people have made it out to be, where you you just turn it and you turn the dime and you go around the corner and all of a sudden, boom. It takes a long time, and it doesn't always have to take years and years and years and years. But how did you go from being six-figure earner to not being able to be hired to where you are?
That's a great question. Thank you. I discovered I could see things that other people couldn't. And when that started happening, funny thing is, my near-death experience was in Egypt. And over the last 2 decades, I spent a lot of time going back and forth and would take spiritual groups. But at that time, what happened was I was fascinated with coffee ground readings. And these little cups, demitasse cups, I would look at the coffee grounds. I was really reading a person's aura, but they're like, how did you see all that in the mud? And, I'd start making a joke of it. And then they'd say, well, I want to learn. So then I realized, I got to teach them some tools. So I started teaching people how to release energy that was blocking their abilities to have their automatic clairvoyance turned on and their clairaudience, etc. So I started teaching tools alongside with, funny, I was getting my car washed, and I went to the farmer's market, and while I was waiting for the car to be washed, I saw this coffee shop, and I went in there. It was a Saturday morning, and I'm thinking, it's dead in here. My little, sales and marketing girl, I'm like, you people need help with your business, And they looked at me like, well, who are you? And I said, I read coffee grounds. Maybe you'd like me to come and I could be your dog and pony show. and I'll be, we'll promote it and we'll get people here and we'll get you people for coffee. So that's how my Saturday morning gig, and I was horrified, Terry. That started coming through my mouth, and I got out into my car and I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh my gosh, what have I done? And then I heard my guide say, now go do 5 more like that. Like I had a sales and marketing manager in my head, right? It must have been my marketing angel, and said, now go get 5 more gigs. So I was obedient, and I went, and I figured out where are all the funky hip coffee shops. And so I went and presented myself, and I said, hey, I'll bring the coffee, because I brought the grounds were already pre-made, and sort of cheated a little bit and poured them into the person's coffee in their cup. And that's how it started. And then, I built my clientele one-on-one, literally the hard way. And then more and more people for my classes, because even the persons, that you read one-on-one, not everybody wants to learn. Well, I was hell-bent on teaching people how to learn this, because I said, you're not going to be dependent on me, okay? I'm not going to be your guru. And that's one thing that I totally oppose, is being the guru. So I would teach people how to be empowered with their own energy. Give yourself your own energy shower. Just like I can teach you how to eat, and I can feed you at first, but after a while, you've got to feed yourself.
I totally agree. I almost tell my clients, I don't want you to be tied to me forever. I want to teach you these skills and these techniques so you can do it yourself or have your own clients, whatever it is you choose. But I don't want you forever. I love you. I just don't want you forever.
Yeah. And so I applaud that, because there's a lot of people in terms of the spiritual game that they're playing, and I call it a guru game. And, I won't name any names, but there are people that you continually go back to them because you need your juice or you need a fix, and they have all your answers, and you can't make a decision without them. And that's not empowering us to trust our inner GPS, is it?
No, absolutely not. And it's a disservice.
I think the lower game is being played with lower, aware individuals. And so I think as the energy is raising on the planet, and us leaders are rising up and standing in the place to be seen, where others can find us. And thank you so much for creating this platform, because this is one of the ways that more of us can be heard and seen.
Yes.
And stand together and help each other. And so it has to happen on all sides. It can't just be, promotion for the sake of that.
Mm-mm.
It is a journey and a learning process. But so that's it. We have to learn, and we practice like I did. It's been 20 years in my professional practice. Now, as a spiritual aspirant, it's been 40.
That's what people don't seem, or at least most don't seem to totally grasp, Amirah, is I consider myself to still be practicing every single day. Now, some days I don't feel like it, and the practice is actually a form of stillness, or just, stepping back for the physical self, the human self, to catch up.
Yeah,
if you don't, they'll knock you on your batukas.
You're absolutely right. I call that a growth period. And the spirit is so hungry. And I'm sure somebody listening to this right now is going to say, oh, no, I can't go through this in so many years. Well, the good news is I don't also see within my own students is the energy's quickening. What took me 2 years will take them 6 months.
Yes.
My 1 year program is now condensed into 10 weeks.
People, those who are on the leading edge, or who are absolutely ready.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're in a hurry, but they're picking it up. And I've noticed that in my clients as well. It's like, they're here, they're ready to do the work, and man, oh man, or woman, oh woman, whichever, they're getting results really quick, and I love that.
It's a great high, isn't it?
It is.
It kind of pisses me off because I work so hard, No, I'm kidding. But, if we can't have fun with it, what can we do, right? But, it's fantastic. And so that's what I wanted to say, is it doesn't have to be that long. But I do notice the people that dedicate, they really got to want it.
Mm-hmm.
Claim it, own it. And you know what? It will be, just like you say, Terry, super fast, more fast, more better, and just a lot of fun. It's different. It's a very different journey now, that's for sure.
It is. And so many of us, and this is, don't anybody send Amirah or me any nasty little notes, because we've been doing this work for a while. Amirah's been doing it for 20 some years, and I've been doing it not near as long, and yet we've been on the journey a long time. And those of us who have been doing this, and I mean, beating our heads up against the wall, there was a point in my life, it's like, I know there's more, I know there's more, I know there's more. Well, now I know what the more is, and I'm still learning what the more is. But we've created
the more you have, the more there is.
There's that too. But we've been creating this path, many of us, so that the energy has a place to expand and intensify and magnify in ways that weren't available when we were trying to figure some of this stuff out on our own.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, totally agree. And it was longer and harder and darker.
Mm-hmm.
There might have been a few books, but quite honestly, I got guidance a number of years ago, even though I've written my own books, it's to stop reading. And that's interesting, because it's like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
be open to your next step. It's not somebody else's experience. You sort of graduate to a new level of being able to access your own information. It's not about reading about it. It is an experience. It's not about, just digesting it or devouring a book. Oh, so-and-so said to do it like this. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's passé now. Maybe even my own tools, some of the things don't work as well. Some things work super fast and super easy, and there's different tools.
I totally agree. Would you share one way, or one of your favorite ways to work with your clients?
Sure. I'm going to bypass the grounding, because I think that is the most important thing. And I always emphasize grounding. And a lot of people think they're grounded, but they're not. It sort of has to do with being present and being consciously aware. So one tool that I think is so fun and super easy is in your mind with your eyes closed. It helps if your eyes are closed. Imagine a timeline and imagine that time at birth. I always see it on my left for some reason. And so there's birth, and then your present age. You can see a little marker along your timeline for every age or every year in your life. And little lights light up on the timeline where you've left some energy. And I imagine a symbol at the beginning of the timeline. It could be a rose. I prefer roses, or it could be a little golden ball, or it could be a star, whatever comes to mind. And then you just slide that symbol across your timeline, coming all the way into present time. And then just reaching in and bringing that symbol or the whole timeline right into your aura. And you can also go into the future, because a lot of us are worried about, let's say, a wedding coming up, or a vacation plan, or going to school, or the job. And so our energy goes into the future too. So we can also go into the future and slide our energy back into present. So it helps to culminate and keep the physical aura, or well, I call it physical. It's not really physical, is it? But so I see it physical. It's a real thing, and it helps to condense it. And when we have more of our own frequency within our aura, and it's compressed and condensed, we become super magnetic. And that way it starts to create a life of grace and flow. My book is called Manifesting Miracles 101, The Art of Being in the Flow. It's like learning how to be it and have it, you know? And of course, you're listening to your intuition, because it's going to get super loud. So I hope that helps.
I think it does. And thank you so much. Would you be willing to come back at some point? Because we have so much more we can talk about.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? Oh, yes, I'd love to. Thank you so much for the privilege and the honor of being with you, Terry.
We've enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much. And gosh, time goes by so quickly sometimes. Please tell our viewers how they can find you.
Oh, yes. They can find me at amirahhall.com. That's AMIRAH and HALL.com.
And on social media, can they find you there as well?
Amirah Hall on Twitter, Amirah Hall on Instagram, and Amirah Hall Miracle Mentoring on Facebook.
Keeping it simple, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. Amirah Hall. Amirahhall.com and on social media. She is amazing. Don't y'all agree? I think so. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here and taking the time out of your busy schedule to share your experience and your journey with us. Beautiful soul, now that you've had a chance to really connect with this beautiful lady, do pop by angeldreamteam.com and check out our Living Spirit and Wellness Global Directory. You will find other amazing coaches and graphic designers, readers, healers, and who knows whom else that you can connect with. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, thank you. I just got reminded, please share this and bring your friends, your colleagues, your family. Following your inner GPS, that's the key to everything that's inside of you. So thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now, beautiful soul. Thank you, beautiful.
Blessings.